The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Paranormal Concept right here on Parasearch UK Radio with your host, Paul Rook.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Concept Show. I'm your host, Paul Rook, and on tonight's show, well, it's going to be mental tonight. Joining me in the studio is Kerry Greenaway. Hello, Kerry.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm prepared for tonight. Are you?
Yeah, of course. I'm always prepared.
Okay, we are joined by Phantasmic Paranormal. We've got Joe Lockwood and Gemma, Leigh, Drury. Right?
Hi, guys. Yeah, Gemma, Drury, yeah.
Hiya, you're all right.
Hi.
Oh, dear. Well, it's going to be an amazing show, I think, tonight. So let's start off by finding out a little bit about you two guys. You know, so how did you both get into the paranormal? Who wants to go first?
Joe? I'll go first, whichever you want, babe. So, I've been in the paranormal since quite a young age, really. Grew up around family members and things like that who were heavily involved in spiritualism and mediumship and things like that, which then kind of led me on to reading books and things, and obviously realising I had a gift from quite a young age. And then started to go on ghost hunts and things at around about 15, just with friends, and then started to go on other ghost hunts when I came of an age, and then decided to have a stab at running our own ghost hunting company. So that's basically in a nutshell what happened. So yeah, I've been in the paranormal now for a good number of years. I'm not going to say how many years because it kind of shows us ages then. But no, it's a great field to be in, and I'm very, very privileged to kind of be in it as well.
So are you a medium?
I am, yes.
Right, okay.
So yeah, it's good when we go on events and things like that, because you tend to pick things up when other people don't necessarily pick things up.
Yeah.
So we have fun. We scare quite a lot of people as well, which is that's not great, but at least you have kind of a connection with somebody before you really speak to them.
Indeed.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And I lost my train of thought there.
Jesus Christ, it's only early in the show. Come on.
It's a bit, innit?
Go on, pull it together, Paul.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Do you want a hand, Paul?
Yeah. Oh no, don't offer him a hand. You don't know what he might do with that hand.
Oh, behave! Come on. This is Friday night, you know.
So when you're working mediumistically, how does that work for you? Because different people work in different ways. So when you work in the field, do you go straight into the location and start picking up immediately, or is it more connected to the people that you're with on the investigation?
It depends, because a couple of weeks ago we went over to Fort Paul, and I started to pick things up as soon as I met somebody, and it was kind of like that was that. But I work in quite a lot of different ways. So I work in voice vibrations, I work on photographs, and I work also with psychometry. So I work all the different ways. But yeah, I think I can't read myself, obviously, but
No.
but it is great. I mean, when we went to Fort Paul and we picked up on somebody in the rabbit run down there, which was good. and somebody else actually picked up on somebody in there as well, which was quite amazing.
Cool.
When do you tell people what you experienced? Do you wait till the end of the night, or do you just there and then?
I didn't actually tell anybody anything that night when we were at Fort Paul, and it was just when I was travelling home, and this person actually said to me, I felt like there was a really big, tall guy that was stood in there, and he was like just guarding the entrance.
Yeah.
And then obviously I just turned around and I said, was he about 6'3" and about 4 foot wide? And he was like, yeah. And it was like, right, okay. But I think it's sometimes because you don't want to give them the power of suggestion, you see, to be able to kind of pick up on anything. But this person, he was sat in the car and I told him about his mum and his dad and somebody who he used to work with, and described his mum to a T, and I'd never really met this guy before. So that's another thing that you kind of, that validates everything for you. Mm-hmm. It is just great. So, and obviously Gemma and I met, and we were on the phone when we first met for about 5 hours, and there were certain things that I told Gemma that I could never have known, which is equally fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Can I just ask who's doing their nails?
That might be me.
Can
you hear it?
Yes, stop
quiet.
it.
I am so sorry.
I recognise the sound though, so all good. Sorry, broke the train of thought there.
So Gemma, how did you get into the paranormal?
It's something that's always intrigued me right from a young age. I first saw my first apparition when I was between the ages of 3 and 4. Yeah. And then the questions obviously just started to come because I didn't understand at that age what it was. And it was only after I see a picture and said to my mum, who's that lady? She was in our house. And my mum was like, no, Gemma, she can't be. She's not alive. But I was like, no, I've seen her. It turned into like a full-blown conversation. And then as I started to get older, I started speaking to my mum a bit more about the lady that I'd seen in the house and asking my mum lots of questions and then started pretty much the same as Joe, really, or pretty much the same as any paranormal investigator. Started going out with my friends of an evening, and I don't know if you've heard of a place called Skidbuck Church, but that's really close to me, and it's quite well known. And it's quite an intimidating place, to be fair. So we started going there on a Friday night and camping over and just being a bit naughty, really, like locations that you really shouldn't be going into, like going into them.
Yeah.
And the more that we did it, the more I experienced, whereas everybody else was a bit like, well, this is rubbish. And I was like, but are you not hearing those sounds? And are you not feeling the apparition and just the heaviness of the whole building? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, so I must be slightly weird. And then obviously as you start to get a bit older, you tend to meet new people and the conversation does crop up, especially like when you're watching TV programs and somebody comes around and it's like, oh, I love stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, me too. So then I started going on investigations with companies. I've been really fortunate. I've managed to, there's not that many places in the UK, I don't think, that I haven't actually investigated. And then I decided that I wanted to run my own company. So I did that for a while. And then I met Joe, and the rest is history, as they say. Meeting Joe was like meeting myself, and we just clicked instantly. And it was like, yeah, do you know what? Together, we're a lot stronger than what we are separately.
Yeah. And Joe, how did you get into the paranormal?
You've already asked me that.
Have we?
Oh, look.
Has he been drinking?
You can't.
Makes a change for me to have a drink, doesn't it?
Well, and I'm more on
bless
the
you.
ball when I've had a drink than you are, clearly. So, guys, when you very first went out investigating together, where did you go? What was the first thing you did together?
It was strange, wasn't it? It was Was it Nottingley, Gemma?
No, it was Stockheld, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we went to a private farmhouse up on near Stockheld Park, and we'd been invited there by somebody who was having some building works done. So there was 4 in our team, and we're just all 4 girls. And, you know, we just said to Gemma, do you fancy coming along with us and see how you find it?
And Gemma never says no to an investigation.
But what was funny, and I think when the penny kind of dropped for Gemma to kind of be invited kind of into the family sort of thing, it was when we were all sat in an upstairs bedroom and we were having some really, really good like spirit box communication, and then all of a sudden we heard a door slam, and then we heard footsteps coming up the stairs, and she's laughing. I know she's laughing now it was really funny because 4 girls just on their own in a dark house with no lights, no nothing.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you would half expect us to all be sat there quaking in our boots and everything, but we just sat there and looked towards the door waiting for somebody to walk in. And this guy walked in who was the farmer who owned the house. And all I could see was Gemma going, "Come on in then, love."
It was one of those, oh, it's an actual person.
It's not spirit, it's a person.
But yeah, I think we were so disappointed, weren't we? And he said, aren't you scared? He said I'd have been petrified. And we were like, no, we wanted it to be something. And we were devastated.
Yeah. It could have been one of those It could be one of those horror movie moments where there's a storm going on outside, lightning's lighting up the doorway, this man steps through the doorway, and you're like, oh my God, kind of moment.
It's a person.
It's a person, it's okay.
The funniest thing that we found is that most people would be like, especially when there's a very small group and you are all female and you are in the middle of nowhere and the nearest house is, about a mile away, would you say, Jo?
Yeah, at least.
When you're hearing a front door open and close and then somebody coming up the stairs, most people would scream and run and hide. But we just sat there and we was like, okay, that's the door. Oh, look, footsteps. Come closer, come and speak to us. And then when a person appears and you're like, oh, it's an actual person.
You're alive. God damn.
Yeah. Can you not just go away?
You have a heart attack or something right now, and then we might be able to contact you from the other side. Sorry, that's a really dark humour joke. So Kaz has asked in the chat room, do you have any rules when you investigate, things you should do or won't do?
I always say be respectful.
Yeah.
I just think that respect is a massive thing, you know, not just when you're contacting the unknown, but in life in general. Respect is very important. You should always give respect. So that for me is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I think also as well is stay true to yourself as well, and don't do things that are going to question your credibility and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, we are here, all of us, to kind of, you know, prove that the afterlife exists and, you know, prove that spirits are real and things. And, you know, we try and bring that in our investigations. We do some risque experiments, don't we, Gem?
We do.
But we are, you know, we stay true to ourselves, and we are the first people, regardless of whether I'm a medium and, you know, Gemma's, you know, a fantastic investigator, but we do debunk things. You know, we're not the sort of people that would sit there and scream and go, oh, that's paranormal. We're just not like that at all.
At the end of the day, whether you're a paranormal investigator or you're just on your very first ever investigation, there is nobody in this world that can guarantee that you're going to have any sort of activity on that night. If you get something, then it's great, but was it real? Is it credible? Have you got something to back up what you're saying has just happened?
Yeah. But I think also, though, Gem, we tend to, you know, even when we've got newbies who have come on our events and things, we always say to them, don't we, you know, we don't expect to get anything. However, if we do get anything, it's an added bonus. But we're not going to be the sorts of people who are going to wear the white sheets and go around scaring people. And,
no,
you know,
definitely not.
There has been times when we've had young 25-something lads, a big group of them. We've had one time, haven't we, Jem, when one of them went home unexpectedly.
Yes, yes. I'd forgotten about that. Bless him. Yeah.
When you just convince someone.
Yeah, well,
he was a
him.
skeptic, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he walked in and his first words were, "I'm only here because they've dragged me here. I don't believe in any of this. It's all a load of rubbish." And we was like, "You are entitled to your opinion, but can you be a bit open-minded as we're starting the investigation? Because negativity isn't going to help, and it's definitely not going to encourage anything to come forward." And what, Joe, within 10 minutes, you was holding his hand, taking him off, bless him.
Yeah. that sounds really wrong, that, you know.
It does sound wrong, doesn't it?
I was taking his hand and leading him out of the room.
No, it wasn't like
I want
that.
to go on that kind of investigation. I'm clearly joking. So you talked about respect, and that goes not just to the spirit world, but to each other in the paranormal field. So do you think there's enough respect in the paranormal field?
Definitely not.
No, definitely not.
Definitely. if you wanted honesty, then that is exactly what you've got with me and Joe, to be honest. No, I don't think. I think there's a lot of people shouting about para-unity, but I think there's very few people that will actually follow through.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not that I haven't and won't work with other teams, because I have, and I do, and I will, and I'll help anybody. If anybody comes to me and says, can you help me? I will do whatever I can, even if it's just getting a number for a location or something. I will help, because we're all in the same boat. But
I think though, sometimes when you've kind of gone out of your way, though, to help some people, and they've thrown it back in your face, and they go, it's just, I just think it's just wrong. You know, we're all in it for the same reasons, and to kind of be bad-mouthed and things like that is really disrespectful. And, you know, it is such a small field, and everybody knows everybody. So 9 times out of 10, somebody knows something somewhere, which, you know, it's not great. So we just treat everybody now exactly how we want to be treated.
yeah.
That's fair enough. That's a good.
And it's always better to meet someone and form your own opinion of them.
Exactly. Yeah. We never go off what other people have said to us. That's not what we're about. At the end of the day, people have issues, then that's between them. It's not between anybody else. Keep it to yourselves, really.
Indeed.
Good point. You talked about risque experiments. I want to know more about that.
That's how they convinced that poor guy to be.
It's really not. It's really not. Some of the more scarier things we won't do to new people. You have to be.
We do ask people as well before we do these experiments with them. It sounds like we're doing some sort of a surgical procedure, Gemma.
Yes, I know, but Jolene, it's not going to get any better when you mention bringing out the handcuffs, is it?
It's when you strap people to chairs and things. That's when they start getting worried, and you blindfold them.
Yeah. One of the experiments that we have done recently was with one of the guys from UK Haunted. I know you had Mickey on recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I love Mickey.
Well, Mickey came to the Ancient Ram with us. Mickey and Alex, bless them, they both came. And we handcuffed Mickey and tied him up to a bed in the Ancient Ram.
I bet he thought all his Christmases had come at once.
Well, bless him. He did appear to be enjoying it, I am not going to lie. So he was tied to the bed, both hands and legs, so he was totally starfishing, bless him. He was blindfolded. He had EMF meters on him. There was infrasound playing into the room. And on top of that, we just thought, ancient ramming, you know, that there is apparently demons there, so let's just throw in a demonic chant just to be on the safe side.
Oh, okay.
And left Mickey all alone.
Yeah, we were trying to hope that the succubus and the incubus were going to come out and play, but they weren't there, were they? For some reason that night.
Not a thing.
Well, actually,
We
there
did have
was
some
stuff that
amazing
happened.
stuff.
Yes, yeah, there was like Mickey. He heard somebody come into the room, but yet we was all accounted for. There was nobody that had gone into that room, and he heard scratching at the side of him. So we was starting to get activity, but I think we disturbed him. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if you'd all vacated the building and left him in that position, then you would have got something a little bit more.
That's not entirely safe, though, is it?
No.
Mickey, we're just going to leave you. Have a nice night. We'll be back at about 10 in the morning.
It's okay. We've got CCTV on you to capture said footage, but you're all right. You'll enjoy it.
But yeah, that's just one of many experiments.
We do that 360. We do the 360 one now, don't we? So that the viewers at home on Facebook can actually watch in the room with the person who's actually handcuffed to the chair and blindfolded, because you know what people are like. They like to log in on laptops and PCs and things like that, and they enjoy, being part of an investigation and being part of what we're doing. And we have got so many people over in America who follow our page due to like the Paranormal Exchange, the show that we host on a Monday. So it's with that in mind, it's great just to for us to give something back to our people who follow our page, really. But we've had some fantastic results from that, with evidence and things like that. So, but I just think, we try and test the boundaries more than anything. And we're going to have a few more experiments before the year's out as well.
Yeah,
some more risque and madcap ideas that we've got.
See, I love my experiments, and I love thinking up new experiments and new stuff for us to try with new equipment or new techniques, and that for me is where I want to say my passion, but not all my passion. That is where it is for me, because everybody, it doesn't matter what experience you do, if you did that experiment, and we've tried it, haven't we, Jo? We've tried doing it with 20 different people. In exactly the same setting, but in the same experiment with 20 different people. And the outcome, 90% of the time, is usually exactly the same.
Yeah.
The odd one that's slightly different. And then when you start looking into why it was different, that's where you start to get a lot more information, really. And I don't want to give too much away, but
we don't want to do that. But that's what we're doing, aren't we? We're doing this on the Village Farm event that we've got coming up, haven't we? So we will be doing that there. So
is that the one at Skegness?
Yes.
The village, yeah. Okay.
We can't wait.
I'm going there in I think it's August, September time for the paranormal convention up there.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to that. Got to be done.
Ooh. Cool. So Gary has put a question in the chat room. Location: if money wasn't an object, where would you like to investigate?
Alcatraz.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, we Gemma and I are very, very similar. In fact, I just think me and Gemma were separated at birth somewhere. But it's we've both said we want to go to Alcatraz and we want to investigate certain places, like the Merchant's House over in New York as well. So there are places that we want to go across the pond and experience.
Have you contacted Alcatraz?
No.
Not yet. No. There is ideas in the pipeline that we are heading over there at some point. So we're trying not to give too much away at the moment, though.
Okay. I love a spoiler. Come on, spill the beans, ladies.
No, we just have some amazing friends over in the US, DPX, and we will be going over there at some point, either later on this year, with a view to go and investigate in some amazing places with those guys and some other of our American counterparts as well. So we're not just UK based now. We're kind of going international. So it'll be exciting.
Brilliant news. Now, Carl Hutchinson has asked, what's your go-to piece of equipment when you're on an investigation?
Oh, I love Carl. He's so
Carl,
lovely.
how are you
bless him.
doing?
I love the way I just said Carl and you knew exactly who I was talking about.
Yeah, we know Carl from when we go. Obviously, we've been on events with UK Haunted, so we know Carl quite well. But my go-to piece of equipment, I love a spirit box because you can't manipulate it to kind of give you the words and things like that. That's my definite go-to. And plus, when you're a medium, it's always nicer that you can get these people to hear what you actually sense, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You see, I love EVPs too. EVPs for me is the way forward, really. Like you say, you can't manipulate it. Going back to UK Haunted again, and Cal was actually there. We went to Falstaff recently, and we was up in the attic, and we got some absolutely amazing EVPs from that building. And I just think that when you hear something being said and it correlates to the question that's being asked, or you're just being told to shut up, that for me is like, well, where is that coming from? Because as it's recording, you can see everybody. Everybody is here. So where is that coming from? There's no radio there that's feeding the words out. There's no built-in dictionary mode. So where is it coming from?
Where indeed?
That's another thing, though. Do you remember when we were at the farmhouse at Stockeld? Within the first 20 seconds of me putting the voice recorder down, we heard a man say, "I'm here," and there was only 4 girls. Yeah, only 4 girls in the building at that time. So how do you explain something like that? You just can't.
I'm sure I don't sound like a male even in first thing in the morning.
Oh, I don't know. Once I've had a hard night's drinking, I can sound quite masculine at times, particularly first thing in the morning. But that's a different story.
What's your favourite location?
There's so many, isn't there?
There is.
I've got so many.
There are so many, but I'm going to make you pick one.
Personally, I love Ruthin Jail. Absolutely love that. The first night I ever went there was probably one of the most active nights I've ever had at a location. Intelligent answers. People sat around a table on the upper floor where all the catwalks are and all the cells, and holding up something in my hand and having a spirit voice come through and tell me what I had in my hand, and 13 other people witnessing that was just unbelievable. And to actually sit there and have that validated, it was mind blowing.
And I think mine, I think I'm going to have to go with, can I not just go with them all?
No.
just picking one. I think my favourite, or the most memorable, shall we say, will be a place called Lycian House in Ireland. Okay. It was amazing. Absolutely fantastic. When we first walked in, I thought, this isn't going to be a very active night. My mind was changed within the first 10 minutes of being in the building, and it was just phenomenal. We'd been doing some glass work. Everybody had come away from the glass. We was all just stood around looking out the window, and the glass went shooting across the room. There was nobody near it. There was nobody that could have moved that glass, but the glass came flying off the table and broke. The footsteps were so clear that it could have been a person just walking into the room. It was absolutely phenomenal.
I think if that happened on one of my investigations, that would annoy me immensely. I'd give that spirit such a rollicking.
Is that because you didn't see it, or because of the damages?
Because he broke my glass. I mean, how rude. You travel all that way to communicate with spirit, and he does that. That's just rude.
Yeah, I've not just come down the road, don't you know? I've had to come on a boat.
How much of this is the dynamic amongst the team that creates the activity, do you think? Or is it...
You see, it's not just the team, it's the guests as well, isn't it? It depends on the whole atmosphere that you take in. But I do think a lot of it does. The energy that you put out is what you're going to get back.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that as well. I think because when we have quite a lot of our guests who are repeat, they come back with us time and time again to investigate with us because they know how we work. They know, we're not quite the conventional type of events company. We do kind of, push the boundaries like we keep saying, but the dynamics of obviously the team anyway, we are like a family, aren't we, Gem? We just, we're just so close.
I did spend Christmas Day night with yourself.
That close of friends.
Yeah, that close thing.
I've woke up in a bed with her quite a few times as well.
Now there's the mark of a true paranormal investigator. When you wake up in bed with your mate the next morning because you're so exhausted. You just crash.
As you do.
Regardless of sex, you just crashed out.
Exactly.
We've had some amazing times though, haven't we, with friends and guests and things like that. And sometimes we'll have a 5-minute breather where everybody's laughing and joking and everything. And 9 times out of 10, you can guarantee that something will happen whilst all that laughter's happening. But that's what you need on an investigation. You don't want the whole silence all the time, because you can't get the atmosphere.
No,
you can't.
and I mean, let's throw into the mix, and everybody that has ever been on a paranormal investigation will know where I'm coming from here. Once it goes past midnight, there's one thing that is said innocently that just has everybody in the room in absolute stitches, because everybody takes it so wrong. It's the time of the morning. You have to be able to have a laugh. And I have been on investigations where I have been told to stop laughing, and it's like, well, it's positive energy.
Yeah, I just think if you're being told what to do on an event, told where you can and can't go, I just think it's just wrong. People pay their hard-earned money to go on these events, and you don't want to be telling people, it's their event. It's not our event.
Exactly.
We've done it so many times. It's just, we're just giving them the tools and obviously our knowledge of what to do if they've not been with us, of how to investigate somewhere and obviously get that positive energy and the positive evidence that they need for themselves to kind of change them from being a skeptic into a kind of a non-skeptic. Not a believer, because some people do leave, don't they, Gem? And they're not believers, but they sit there and they say, I've had an experience that I cannot physically explain.
Yeah. Some people are like, I'm not entirely sure what's just happened in there, and I'm not sure how to take it. And it's like, well,
And we weren't stood anywhere near you.
Yeah.
So Gary has asked, is there any location that you wouldn't investigate, like the death camps?
I don't know.
Would you investigate Alcatraz? No, not Alcatraz, the other one.
Auschwitz,
thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I personally would go anywhere.
Yeah, I would go and investigate Auschwitz, obviously, but we are very respectful, like we say, and, obviously respectful to the people, the surviving members of the families who are still obviously here to this present day and things like that. We would obviously be respectful, and obviously we film quite a lot of our investigations as well, so we wouldn't probably say where we were and things like that. So it just comes down to that word again, isn't it? It's just respect.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But no, there's nowhere that I wouldn't go. I did say previously that I would never want to go back to Falstaff after having a really bad experience. But I went back, and I've been back another 2 or 3 times since then. So no, even if I say I'm not going to go back, there's a good chance I will.
So, okay, worldwide, would you do the suicide forest in Japan?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter actually said to me, because I've got to take her to Japan if she gets C's in all of her GCSEs. And she said, while we're in Japan, would you go into the forest? And I said I would.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a possibility. We've just got to hope that the daughter gets C's or above now on her GCSEs.
That could be a very expensive GCSE result for you.
Yeah.
She won't be getting a prom if she gets Japan.
True that.
I think those are the sort of places, though, that you do on your own, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
Rather than an event, because I think events would just be wrong in those sort of places.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't do an event in a place like that. The Suicide Forest, no. Alcatraz, no. That's more personal experience.
Yeah, I think obviously Alcatraz is just you can't. It's such a vast space, isn't it? You want just the two of you in there, a couple of walkie-talkies, a couple of body cameras, a couple of head cameras. So you're actually covered from all angles, and just literally just investigate two of you, or the team, or so you can account for everybody and where they are at the time. So everything you can document, you can debunk if you need to.
True.
Definitely up for watching that one.
Yeah. Now, Carl has said you're two of the loveliest ladies he's ever met in the field.
Oh, bless his heart. He's a star. Carl was sending you hugs.
I'm a little jealous. I'm going to say it's my friend. It's my friend. It's not your friend. It's my friend.
So, should we just meet up and have a paranormal investigation for all of us?
I think we should do, to be honest.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. But no,
we go. We've got a date.
Yeah, to be fair, Kerry, though, we do have some really, really, really good close friends within the paranormal who, Gemma and I have met along like this crazy journey that we're on.
Yeah.
Definitely a crazy journey. But no, like you say,
like old Mickey, Alex.
I know we get to talk to them on the radio, and we're lucky enough to meet them in the field. It's amazing, isn't it? This field that we're in, like-minded people with a passion for the same thing, and when you get to actually meet these people that you've spoken to on Skype or on Facebook or wherever, isn't that the good thing about the paranormal field?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not a spring chicken. But I have made I have made some of the most amazing friends through the paranormal world, even compared to the people that I've grown up with. That my bond with the paranormal team seems to be that bit stronger, and it's crazy how friendships can form from standing in dark rooms saying, "Is there anybody there?" It's not something that you would expect to happen, but these friendships really are quite strong, and it's amazing.
It is good though, because you've got to put your trust in people. If you're in a pitch black room as well, you've got to trust somebody to have your back if anything happens. And there's been numerous times when things have happened and people have screamed and everybody else has jumped, and you kind of like end up in a heap on the floor laughing, and you kind of sat there thinking, well, I think I know you a little bit more than what I thought I did now. so but it's the friendships that we have got, and obviously like Gemma and I, we do absolutely everything together, and we've got some fantastic friends, and we are very lucky, to be honest.
I think it's all down to sharing the passion.
That could be taken so wrong.
I was just about to say, that could be.
Yes, Paul, sharing the passion.
Can we limit the passion that we are sharing, Paul? Is that okay?
The paranormal, okay? Passion for the paranormal.
Oh my God, we've been offered a hand and now passion. I mean, come on.
We did tell him though, didn't we, before we came on? I said it's going to be like the loose women of the paranormal tonight, isn't it? So
very true. So, what's the worst thing about the paranormal field?
The bitchiness.
Yeah.
The bitchiness. Let's just throw it out there. It can be horrific.
We are going to be controversial.
Yeah, well, there's no point in lying, is there? That is the worst thing. And again, I'm going to throw it out there again. I'm so controversial, it's unreal. The cost of locations, because well-known teams are booking in advance and putting the prices sky high. That is my biggest bugbear.
Yeah, definitely. small companies cannot compete at all, and it kind of spoils it for the rest of us, the little teams like us that.
So we had Hazel Ford on the other week, who obviously runs Haunted Happenings, and she said that any team that approaches her, she's quite happy to incorporate within her events.
I have actually been on one of Hazel's events as a guest, but I've never worked with her, but then I've never asked to work with her, so that's not something that I can really comment on.
No, I can't either, to be honest, because it's not. I don't know. I just think sometimes you tend to keep yourselves to yourselves, and obviously with the field as it is, you tend to not really ask for much help from anybody. So that's what we tend to do.
But do you not think that's part of the problem?
Oh, more than likely, yeah.
So if you did go to some of the big companies, they may well say, yeah, we've got, I don't know, Newsham Park, hotel, whatever it is, hospital. What is it? Newsham. I just know it's Newsham. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
Newsham Park.
Massive location, huge, easily incorporate small teams as well as an event company. Do you not think that we should be reaching out to each other in that way?
Possibly, but for me, it goes down to how well do you actually know these people, and how well are you going to mesh together? Because if you've got two people or two groups that are a bit awkward with each other, because A, you don't know how they work, and B, you don't want to be standing on somebody's toes, then is that going to impact on the night and what the guests are going to get out of it? Because the be all and end all is that we are there for the guests, we're not there for any other reason. So,
not necessarily, because she said, and I'm going to quote Hazel on this one, she said if a team comes along, they're free to do what they want on their location. Obviously, you have got to work around the event that's going on as well, but you are free to go and do your own sort of like mini event within the event.
Yeah, but we are an events company though as well, so it kind of two events companies within one location that would work.
That would not necessarily work.
As a team, it might be totally different. We might be able to go in and, go into a venue with other events companies as a small team and do things. But like I've said, we've been on other events with other events companies as a team, and we were told where we could go, where we couldn't go.
Yeah.
And that's, that's the sort of thing. It's kind of like, oh, okay.
Especially if you're drawn to an area and you can't go there because they're in there. It's like, oh, but I really want to go in there.
However, it may be worth opening those doors of communication amongst some of the big event companies that have got the big locations. It might be worth opening those doors. I'm just putting it out there, playing devil's advocate, trying to draw the field together as always. We've
got a great venue coming up just before Christmas, which is like our Christmas party sort of thing. And we've actually asked other paranormal teams if they want to come and join us.
Yeah.
So because that is what we have done. So, the lines of communication are all open there.
Yeah.
It's just a case of whether these people want to come with us and experience it. Because like obviously, small companies, they can't be affording to spend £2,000 on a venue. And I mean, that in itself is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Hellfire Caves, when I did Hellfire Caves, the cost of that location alone, that's before you incorporate food, drinks, petrol, anything else, just the cost of the location for Hellfire Caves was $1,800.
Yeah, I know.
So expensive.
So, when you think about the cost, it is horrific. And some people can't afford that.
What's the most you've been quoted for location?
£1,920. That's the one venue that we've had. But then we had another quotation for somewhere else, and that was coming up just short of 5,000.
Yes.
I've been quoted £6,000 for one location.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We were quoted £10,000 for one to film in, and it was just like, what on earth? And it's just basically, somebody's, somebody just wants to be able to make some money from it. But £10,000 just to film for a night is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think I even approached London Underground, and that they wanted to charge £170 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't they? Because of all their insurances, and they need a member of staff with you and things like that. But these buildings that are, abandoned and kind of run down, they have costs associated with them, but the cost that they're charging teams is highly inflated. It's just greed at the end of the day.
Totally agree with you.
It is expensive. It can be very, very expensive. Anyway, let's change topic. Gary says, Gary Bradfield this is, forgetting ghosts and spirits, are there any aspects of the paranormal field you are interested in? So anything other than that, what you do, is there anything else that really gets you?
I love the UFOs. I love the thought that there's aliens and things like that are out there. I don't believe that we are here on our own, that we just can't be.
Well, Paul loves that side of things.
Yeah, I would go with UFOs too. Yeah, like Joe says, with all these planets, not just on Earth, but on all the other planets, you're not telling me we're the only inhabitants. It can't be possible.
There isn't no way that we could be the only intelligent life force on this whole solar system.
Hey, I didn't push it out and say intelligent.
I love that. There's that differentiation between the two, isn't it? There's life, but not necessarily intelligent life. Whole different ballgame.
This is why we work so well, Kerry, because I say something that I think is quite intelligent, and then Gemma goes, "Well, no."
Let's reword that a little.
But I just think, there's got to be something, hasn't there? I mean, come on, technology nowadays, it's moving forward at the rate of knots, and you kind of sit there and think Area 51. There wouldn't be Area 51 if it wasn't for the Roswell crash. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a controversial moment.
We do like to throw them out there, Kerry.
Oh, you do, ladies. You do, indeed. We're not going to get into that right now because that's a whole conspiracy theory all by itself.
Yeah, that's another. That's probably next week's show.
That's a whole new show.
We'll tune in.
They should just give us a regular slot, Gemma. We'll be all right.
Well, you do a radio show, don't you?
I do a radio show with the American counterparts on a Monday night, but I say Monday night, it's more like a Tuesday morning. But yeah, we do have plans, don't we, Gemma, to start doing our own radio show.
Well, maybe, ladies, we should talk.
Maybe we should indeed.
Maybe we should.
So, because we're nearly coming up to the end of the show.
That's gone very quick.
Oh, I can't believe it already.
Yeah, we've got another 10 minutes. So, what projects have you got coming up that you want to talk, mention?
We've got so many. We've got so many. Most of ours, apart from the ones that aren't public, are all up on Facebook and on the website anyway. But we've got the Village Church Farm on the 7th of July. Yeah, I love that place. I really do love that place. Yeah. After that, we have got is it the Ancient Ram in September?
Yeah, we have the Ancient Ram. Yeah,
I love that location.
Ancient Ram in September. Then we've got Halloween at Ordsall Hall.
November, we are at Morecambe,
the Park Hotel, Then we have our Christmas extravaganza sleepover at Shrewsbury Prison.
Awesome. I love that place.
I do. I love that place too.
Very interesting experience there.
I got shut in a cell there.
Really?
Yeah, I was all by myself. It's usually the case, isn't it?
I've done that in a toilet in Amsterdam, but that's a whole different story.
had a window on one side, did it, Kerry?
No, honestly, that was a whole different... Not that kind of window. No, anyway, different.
I think everybody is so much more interested in this toilet in Amsterdam now, Kerry.
Sorry. Carry on, ladies.
You must know you've got to give the viewers what they want, and they want the toilet in Amsterdam right now.
Nah, I don't think they want to hear that story.
Oh, dear.
I can feel her embarrassment through the
I'm literally like glowing right now.
I took the burning for her. So.
That's only because you said about the window on one side. Anyway, going back. Yeah, let's go back.
Shrewsbury Prison. Yeah, we're there on the 7th of December, which is a Friday. So we do have a sleepover event there. It's £90, and that will include food and snacks and obviously light refreshments. But it is kind of Gemma and my birthday as well, so it's a little bit of a birthday celebration for us both. So it's going to be quite fantastic.
Awesome.
That just makes it sound like we share a birthday as well, doesn't it?
I know, it's great.
They're synchronising on so many levels here, ladies.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God.
So now, going back to this toilet.
No, wow, let's not go back to the toilet in Amsterdam. Guys.
Yeah. We established it didn't have a window.
It definitely didn't have a window. Otherwise I would have been crawling out of the window, but no, it didn't have the window.
Oh,
Speaking of Amsterdam, Gemma, we've got to go there, haven't we?
We have, yes.
So,
Yes. We'll go see what Amsterdam has to offer.
Amsterdam is awesome.
That sounds so wrong on so many different levels again.
It does a little bit.
It's not even gone
It is an
midnight.
amazing place.
I love Amsterdam. I've been so many times before, and it's just such a beautiful city. But then it's got its dark, murky side of it, hasn't it? Which is fantastic. But it's like woohoo!
It definitely has a darker, murky side. Yes. Anyway.
I think that's just the players' bar as well, isn't it? With the dark, murky side of things. Oh.
Well, this has been an interview unlike any other. It's
So, okay.
She tried California.
What?
She tried California. That's got a dark, murky side.
No, that's Florida.
Oh, is it Florida?
We call it. Well, we interviewed. Mark Muncy. I say we. Actually, that was Kaz who interviewed him. And honestly, Florida is well freaky. You know, you cut through all the touristy bits. That's got like a well dark history.
Yeah, I think Florida anyway, in general, is, you know, I think with any area though, there's some really dark sides of things, isn't there? So you could say that about everywhere. You know, everywhere's got its dark history and things like that, or you know, it's not a very nice area or something like that. But there's places like that everywhere.
That's very true. That's very, very true. So you're not down. You're not like adverse to a little bit urban exploring, are you?
No, definitely not. No, I quite often go out with my son, and we just go off and go all over, really.
Gemma, how old's your son?
He's 15. Again, very controversial.
I was going to say, that is a controversial topic.
It is again.
What's your opinion then on children in the paranormal?
I mean, my daughter's 14, and I wouldn't take her on a paranormal investigation because it's not her thing. And maturity, she's not mature enough. But my son, I am a bit biased because he is my son, but I would say he's probably a better investigator than some of the adults that you've seen on TV.
Yeah, he is. I totally agree.
He is amazing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not dabbled in anything that could cause him any harm. Mm-hmm. But I think you should take it with every child if they are mature enough, responsible enough, and understand enough, and they're with their parents then I don't see what harm it can do having a child go and investigating with you. My son has walked around numerous locations with a spirit box in his hand, having a right old conversation. And I'm like, has anybody seen my son?
Yeah, it's not just that though.
He's just gone.
It's the fact that you're priming the next generation of paranormal investigators
exactly
to carry on this field. Because
see, it's on top of that as well. My son, bless his little heart, he absolutely loves history. He is a bit of a history buff, so he's like my secret weapon, because I will never find out any information about any location that I'm going to, because I like to see what I get when I'm there, and then once I've been, I will then do some sort of research just to see if anything correlates. But my son, he will say to me, "Mum, you know when you went there, this is what I found," and he's like, and he will have a list of information for me. And it's like, wow, thanks for that, mate.
Cool. That is cool. And I agree. You're training the next paranormal investigators to come along and follow in your footsteps, basically, aren't you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, especially, I mean, I would never push somebody to do something, to do a paranormal investigation or to go out ghost hunting if they wasn't comfortable with it. And as I said, I certainly wouldn't take my daughter. But it was my son who asked. He spent many years. You know what it's like these days with all the access to the internet. So yeah. YouTube is massive. Yeah. In fact, my son had probably heard of UK Haunted before even I did, because he will sit trawling the internet for hours, looking for any sort of ghost hunting videos, and he's got quite a bit of knowledge, to be fair. He's really intelligent, and I'm actually really proud to say that he's my boy.
Yeah, oh, lovely is that. Debbie has actually said he's a legend, a damn good natural investigator.
Oh, is that Mort?
Morticia Aisley.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Mort. You see, he, like I say, he does come, and people have met my son, and he is the next budding investigator, without a doubt.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Paul?
Cool. And we'll be debating that subject in, I think, the first week of July. I think that one.
Oh, I shall be on the chat room for that one.
Awesome. Kerry, what have we got coming up for this week, next week, whatever?
This week, we are only on Tuesday. We have got tomorrow evening. We have got the Supernatural Chat Show kicking off at 8 p.m. with Mr. Sean Cadman. He's got David Cook in the studio with him. Now, David is actually going to be out on location at Stonehenge, because obviously on Thursday... Yeah, exactly. We've got the summer solstice. Now, he's with Mr. William Becker, who we love here on Parasearch Radio. So we're hoping that that's the connection. We're hoping, fingers crossed and everything, that the connection is going to be a good connection for that one. Followed by Haunted Histories, and Penny is talking about Beatty Mansion, which is in Missouri. And that is very interesting little location, that one. Up and coming in the American paranormal investigation field. On Thursday evening, on the Spectral Zone, we have Mr. Mark Dudley coming on. He's from Fenland Paranormal, which is out in East Anglia. So we've got him coming on to have a little chat. He's normally regular on the chat room. On Friday evening, the Dark Mirror Show, we're talking about the evil eye, all about the eye. On Friday, there was a lot of that, trust me. Honestly, there's a lot of that goes on that show. On Sunday, we have got the lovely MJ Dixon in the studio talking about the Sage Paracruise and the recent Leamington Spa Festival. So we've got lots of lovely shows still coming up here on Parasearch for you.
Can we just say thank you to everybody who's listened tonight? I've had quite a few friends message me while we've been on, just saying, it's nice to listen to you girls, and thank you so much. And then obviously thank you to you guys as well for having us on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for coming and volunteering.
Yeah, definitely. Don't don't forget, on the Parasearch Radio group page, we have a competition at the moment. If you'd like a reading with the lovely Bear Medicine Walker, then go over to the Parasearch Radio group page. Just to enter the competition, you'll see all the T&Cs and what you're going to get for your entry on there. So go over to that. And if you miss any of the Parasearch Radio shows, go over to our YouTube channel, Parasearch Radio. Click like, share, and subscribe. I love doing that bit.
Yeah. You like the eye.
And I love that eye. It's all the eye. Anyway, that's a whole different show.
And next week on the Paranormal Concept Show, we are going to be talking about Travis Walton and the alien abduction case.
Ooh.
Yeah. And there is a film about it, Fire in the Sky. So go and watch that.
He's giving me homework, ladies, to go and watch that film. He went, I've got a film for you to watch. And I was like,
I'm trying to log into the chat room and it's not letting me.
Oh. Well, it's really good.
Oh,
Liz is in there, Graham is in there, Debbie is in there, Kaz is in there, Gary
Graham's
is in there. Loads of people are in the chat room. Carl is in there. Loads of people in the chat room. My Luke is in there. Everybody's in there. You missed a treat in the chat room, ladies.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us on chat room. Thank you to my guests. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, everybody. So that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.